YouTube videos are the new Seinfeld emails. This is a concept that actually comes from .com Secrets by Russell Brunson. It's a very good book. So recently in a video, Hamza, by recently I mean it was over the summer, Hamza mentioned that there is no need for Seinfeld emails if you have a social media account like YouTube, like Twitter, like Instagram, any of those other sort. So back in 2023 was when I started to first get into business and finance and starting a business. It'll make you money online, that sort of thing. And that was when I went into the real world by Andrew Tate. I started for the program. And he had a list of books that he mentioned you should probably read. And one of them was .com Secrets. And I thought it sounded odd. I was like, what's the secrets of the internet? Well, it is sort of, but it's more than that. And it goes in depth about emailing, marketing, online agencies like that. Anyway, back in 2023, I was working at Pizza Hut, and I had a job there. And I began to read .com Secrets. I bought it for, I want to say, less than $20. It wasn't that expensive. It was relatively cheap. And the book actually made a lot of sense. And one of the topics that it talks about in the book is Seinfeld emails. So if you have a landing page and you have a pop-up, your goal is to collect people's emails, right? Why need their emails? Because when it comes to sales, the sale is rarely made on the first contact with the customer. So if they just go to your website, then they're probably not going to buy anything. But the thing is, it usually is made on the third or fourth contact with the customer. So if people see an ad for something multiple times, usually it's on the second, third, fourth, or even eighth time that they'll buy the product. So that is this concept of what you want to do to keep contact with the customer is get their email now, so right now, and then later you can keep sending them emails either daily, bi-weekly, every once in a while. And if you notice, a lot of stores that you know, if you get emails from Walmart or just any store you go to, they get your email when you sign up for the website. But the thing is, they keep it, so that way they can keep sending you updates, and they can keep upselling you. That's the point of it. Well, this concept of Seinfeld emails takes it a step further, where if you have a brand, you want to build trust and a relationship with your customer. So, in these emails, there'll usually be something about, like, hi, John. And they usually tell a story about their lives. So if I'm selling you inhalers, and you come to my website, I'll get your email. And then in the Seinfeld emails, usually tell a quick story. Hi, John, I had asthma when I was a kid, and I developed this new type of inhaler. So I can breathe, and they'll tell you a little story, tell you about themselves, so you begin to like them, and sort of establish a relationship with them over the emails. And it's all wrapped up in a nice bow, and then they'll tell a different email. The point of it is because Seinfeld, like the TV show, every episode's the same. So every email is generally the same. There is a beginning, middle, end. Andrew Tate does this, Hamza does it a lot with the whole Jeffrey Dahmer. Well, the Seinfeld email is not needed, if you think about it, because this whole thing I just described is just YouTube videos. YouTube videos. You are doing what? When you have multiple videos, it accomplishes the same thing. It establishes a relationship with the customer. It is multiple contacts with them. So if they just watch the videos, at the end of some of the Seinfeld emails, they will sell you. So there's a link. Oh, I developed this new sort of inhaler. So the first one, it might be, hi, welcome to this email list. Buy my product. Then this one might just be a story. Then on, let's say the 8th one, or you can do it every single one. You have a sell. You're pushing a sell. So you realize the more times you pitch your sale, the more sales you're going to get. Well, that's why they have the email list. But with YouTube, if you just pitch your sale in every single video, the video now acts as the same function as the Seinfeld email. So it's technically not needed. Now, people do still use emails. That's not the reason not to have an email list, is because they're outdated or anything. But essentially, there's less friction with YouTube. We are becoming a more visual economy. People watch more videos. It's easier to watch a video and retain the information than it is to just read a book or read an email. People really just aren't on their emails like that. So, in this new age, the YouTube video is, I'd say, much better. You don't really need emails. Now, you can have them, because like I said, the more times you pitch to the customer, that's more possible sales, right? So if, let's say, you pitch once every 5 emails, that's only going to yield so many results. But if you pitch it every single email, then you would get more sales, right? That only makes sense. So if you have more stores, that's more opportunities to interact with customers and people. So, like I said, YouTube is king now when it comes to people's entertainment. And that, of course, extends to all things like TikTok, like Twitter, like Instagram. The Seinfeld email was because social media just wasn't what it was back when Russell Brunson wrote the book. Of course, social media has always been big. But now, the thing is, people are building online brands on YouTube. And that is becoming their entire network. The thing is, Russell was technically right. In his book, he talks about how evergreen the topics in his book are. About how these are the core fundamentals of sales, and they'll never go away. And that's not to take away from him. In fact, it only goes to show how right he was in the concept of selling to the customer on multiple points of contact. But the thing is, a lot of people will read the book, and it is a great book, but they have not translated it into the modern day. They have not updated his teachings. So you need to look at it from a modern stance. That's why YouTube is the new version of Seinfeld emails. And Seinfeld emails are not needed at all.